Hello, hello, hello. I am Jason,
Hey, and I'm Ronnie.
and we are going to start our next season of Coach Rivals 2020 Summer. Yeah. So,
Woo!
Ronnie and I were actually on the same team. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but we want to just give a little intro as to what's going on here. Ronnie, did you play in the first season of our Coach Rivals this season?
I missed out. I watched from afar, but I wasn't a part of it last.
Oh, so you did get to watch it though, right?
Yeah, I tuned in for sure.
Ah, sweet. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to play in the first season. So what happens is a few of us coaches across the United States were on Discord. We were arranging for all of our games and matches for our teams and that kind of thing. And then somebody spoke up and said, "What if all of us as coaches, start to play some games and basically make like an exhibition season for all the students to get into." And we thought it was fun, cool idea. 20 of us got together, and amongst us, we made 4 teams, and we duked it out, and we had a lot of fun. We learned a lot of things from it, and we decided, let's do another season. And this time, we got 15 more players. That's 7 teams for all of you. 7 teams to all compete as coaches, and this time around, we kind of, are planning things out a little bit more. We've put a little more time into it. As you can see, we got some cool photos and that kind of thing. And what are your thoughts so far with the season, Ronnie?
I couldn't be more excited to be a part of this. I've been a player on League of Legends for a long time, never professionally, really just more of a hobbyist. And just to kind of see the passion all the other coaches have and to kind of see everybody kind of come out of the woodwork, especially with everything going on right now, with COVID and everybody having to be at home and missing time on campus and everything. It's really cool to see everybody come together and kind of see the camaraderie between all the coaches and kind of see everybody build each other up. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. And we had a lot of fun with the last season, too. So we're super, super excited. Mind you, everybody, that we know that most of us are not very good at this. So feel free to laugh and have some fun. We'll certainly, play up some of the moments and whatnot. I apologize. This is the first time that I have ever streamed, and I am realizing that I forgot to do the intro video. Last season, we had a cool intro video put together by one of our coaches. Same thing this time. They put another one together, so I'm going to play that real quick. You ready for this, Ronnie?
Yeah, I'm excited, actually.
Okay, here we go. Here's the video. Oh, I get chills just watching that every time. Oh, that's so cool. As you can see, and you probably noticed, a lot of us really got into it this season. The photos that you see, we took a couple of the professional gamer team photo, what do you call it, montages, and we said, let's make one of these. And so we all took our photos, put it all together. We even had one of the coaches go through and do a whole bunch of graphics for all of us, and some of the type font, and just really cool. We put that all together.
Yeah, I was really impressed just to kind of see everything come together. It was like a week between the time that the teams were announced and the time we all had team names and photos and logos, and it was really cool. So
Oh
this
yeah.
is awesome to see it all come together.
Okay, well, it looks like we are getting into the banning process right now, so let's just jump right into it. So hang on, let me just change my display. So I apologize. We were talking and watching some things, and they are in the process right now. So they have already picked. Ronnie, you want to describe the ban process here?
Yeah, so basically, what's going to happen here is each team is going to pick a total of 5 players. They're each going to pick a champion for themselves, but there's also going to be 5 bans for each team, and each team kind of goes through, as you see, kind of they trade one at a time. They each get to pick a character, and these are essentially characters that this team has kind of predetermined they don't want to deal with. These are characters that they either know are really powerful right now, or they have matchups that they just really don't want to deal with because of team compositions and things like that. And as you see, we've got a few bands already off the board. Each team gets 3 to start, and then they get 2 to finish after the first couple of picks come off. So yeah, if you'd like to take over here, it looks like we got a few big picks and bands coming through already.
That we do. So, just so for those of you who are watching, the ones on the bottom are the bands. So, blue team banned Pantheon, Yumi, and Jarvan 4. Now, what's interesting is a lot of these teams are actually scouting each other out. They are paying attention to which champions the opposing players are playing, and they're kind of weighing in, like, how good are they with this champion, and what happens with this combo or that combo. So, there's a huge amount of metagame going on here. It's just amazing how deep this game is, and so blue team got to start the pick. They got to start with their bans, and then red team has banned Zoe, Vel'Koz, and V. Most obvious here are probably a lot of these characters tend to be some of the power champions that each of the team is most affluent with. So now they've all picked their champions, the first 3, and now they're going to go into the final series of bans. Red team's going to ban their final 2 characters, as is the blue team. Ronnie, do you want to talk about some of the picks that they've made?
Yeah, some of these are pretty interesting. We've got a few that are a little unconventional, like the Galio pick is not necessarily something you see in pro play, or the Nami pick or Oriana pick, for instance, kind of one on each side there. Some of these are a little unconventional. You can tell some of these guys are going with characters they're more familiar with and kind of focusing more on characters that they've practiced, rather than maybe following some trendy character or trying to follow some swing of a kind of a power spike or something like that. I kind of like the team comp so far, though. I mean, it looks like both teams are kind of getting what they want. I don't really see a lot of concession going either side here. So these look like really strong team comps on both sides here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that, viewers. I was just verifying, making sure that I had the correct screen going on here. Okay, so we got Galio and Darius and Senna for the blue. Now, what positions would you expect those characters to take?
I would assume probably Galio's going to go mid. Some people kind of go with Galio support, but seeing as Senna's off the board already, she's probably going to be focused more as the support character. You got Darius most likely going top lane. He's kind of a stalwart up there. He's kind of a comfort pick for a lot of top laners, so I would expect him to be going top. And it looks like we've got a Caitlyn coming in too, so that kind of goes hand in hand with the Senna. So those are probably going to be your bot laners right there. And all that we're really waiting on for the blue team is going to be their jungle pick, most likely.
Yep, their final pick, and their jungle is Trundle. Yep, that's a pretty good pick nowadays. And then we got for the red team. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Trundle's really good because he can kind of deal with tankier champions like Urgot, which they've already kind of picked up. So that's
absolutely. So then the other team, Team Red, has got Nami, most likely going to be the support. That's usually what her job is. Then we've got Oriana, likely mid. Xin Zhao, probably the damager, the ADC on bottom lane. Urgot, I'm thinking Urgot is usually a top laner. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right on. I think Urgot's probably going top. Xin Zhao, he could be their jungler. Could be Zed too. Zed's kind of an unconventional ADC pick, so really they could really go.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, give me a moment, everybody. I need to join the game so that I can be the spectator. But then we're going to have about a 3-minute break, and we can talk a little bit about these roles. So 1 moment here. Okay, so now they're all going to join the game. They're going to get in the order of their roles, and then they'll start the game. They'll have a 3-minute delay, and then we can actually start watching their plays and talk about it. But for right now, so we've got you mentioned, Galio is not a very conventional pick. Why is that?
It's interesting. I didn't expect to see Galio come off the board because it's not a character that a lot of pro players pick, but he's a character I actually kind of main. I played Galio before his rework a long time ago, and then afterwards it took me a while to get used to him again, but I've started playing him again. reason a lot of pro players don't pick Galio is because his main engage tool is his taunt. It's his, I believe that's his E. He's got an AOE taunt, so he can taunt multiple members of the enemy team, kind of in a circle around him. And that's a really powerful tool because taunts are usually a one-person thing. So having the ability to taunt an area around you, meaning you can get 3, 4, even 5 characters kind of locked in an arena with you, unable to escape. That's really powerful. But they nerfed his ability to use that taunt and flash at the same time, so he can't flash forward, taunt you, while channeling it. He has to kind of basically get in range of you just by walking up and then taunt, or flash ahead of time and then taunt, and hopefully you won't flash away. So that's kind of crippled a lot of his team fight ability or his engage ability, and so pro players don't pick him as often now.
Right then. Okay, cool. Yeah, and for those of you who may be new to this stuff, I will be trying to explain a few of the concepts. I'm kind of a newer player as well. I have been playing this a little bit, but it's such a deep trove of all kinds of things going on in the game.
So much, yeah.
So one of the common things that you'll probably hear us talk about is CC. That's called crowd control. That's an ability that has the way to change how everybody's placement and movement are affected on the board. And so Galio's taunt that Ronnie was describing would be an excellent example of a CC ability.
Yeah, basically, this game is at its core about positioning and kind of dealing more damage than your opponent in a short window of time. So your team fights and things like that, you're basically trying to put yourself in a position where you are dealing damage to your opponent without absorbing too much damage from them. It's kind of a tug of war essentially, and with a taunt, essentially it locks everyone in place for predetermined amount of time. His taunt scales depending on how the game goes, his level, but he's allowed to keep them locked in that place for 1 second, 1.5 seconds, and during that time they can't do anything else. They can't attack any of his allies, and Galio's a naturally very tanky character, so he's absorbing that damage really easily, and all the other guys on his team are able to freely hit whoever they like at that time. So it's a huge engage tool. A lot of characters specialize at different things in this game. Galio happens to specialize at engaging and starting team fights, so that's the perfect way to do it. Yeah.
Here, 1 second. I'm gonna turn down my sound. So they've already gone and done their picks, and now they're going through and they are selecting their characters. I'm just gonna turn down the sound real quick.
Good to know.
Just a bit. There we go. Okay. So they're going through and they're selecting all their heroes. So this is just a tool that they used to kind of do a special draft series. And now they're picking their characters. They'll get started on the game, and then we'll join in on them in a few minutes. Okay, so cool. So we covered a lot of really good concepts with Galio. One other that I would like to cover is a lot of games tend to revolve around the types of damage that the characters deal to each other. There are 2 major types of damage. There's a third, but let's talk about those 2 types of damage. Galio, what kind of damage does he primarily deal with all of his abilities?
So Galio kind of is an ability power champion. Yeah, as you alluded to, there's attack damage and there's ability power. Basically, it's kind of physical damage or like magic damage is kind of one way to think about it. So this is a sport that's kind of, it's difficult to relate to a real life sport, right? Because real sports, you've got like rules and physics and things like that. But here we're dealing with swords and magic and that type of stuff, so it's a little harder to rationalize, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But basically, right. So basically, Galio, he's mostly a kind of a tank, but he's got the ability to kind of burst his lane opponent through his ability power. His ability power scales through his magic resistance, so he kind of naturally builds resistance to magic while also gaining power through his spells as well. So he's kind of a unique champion that he gets tanky and then he gets strong, where some characters is kind of the reverse.
Exactly, and a lot of mid lane choices tend to favor a lot of magical damage. It's kind of the way a lot of people like to play. The characters that tend to be there are the ones who can throw out a bunch of quick combos and deal a lot of damage all at once. We call that a burst of damage. So then let's talk about the character across from Galio, who is likely going to be the mid lane, Oriana. What can you tell us about Oriana?
Oriana is interesting. She's kind of almost the opposite of Galio. She's a control mage. So basically, what she wants to do is she wants to control an area of the map. So if her team is going for an objective like a dragon or a tower, or they're basically coordinating for a big objective or a big play on the map, she has the ability with her. She's got a special mechanic with her ball. She can control this remote ball from all over an area around her, so it can attack, it can defend, it can disrupt, it can do things like that. And so she controls that independent of her own movement. And because of that, she can stay very safe while still dealing damage from afar and kind of causing people to retreat. So it's a really powerful tool if you're trying to group up and go for an objective. If you can keep your enemies at bay without making yourself vulnerable, so that's what her specialty is.
Nice. Thank you very much. That's really interesting. I have definitely last season I played with some of my teammates who liked to use Oriana, and she's a hard one to understand what's going on. She's a very complex character. I play top lane, still play top lane this season. We'll talk a little bit about the roles, but mid lane is definitely a lot of the complex characters who have very interesting abilities tend to play the mid lane. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to talk about with the mid lane role?
I think what's really interesting is both of these mid laners don't have a lot of escape abilities, and a lot of mid laners traditionally do. So you've got like LeBlanc or Katarina or some other mid laners that they kind of want to get in, deal damage, and get out. And these two mid laners they picked really don't have the ability to get out or dodge a lot of spells necessarily. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of who is able to dominate the mid lane, because a lot of big plays start in the mid lane and then they kind of feed out to the other parts of the map. But we'll have to see kind of where these guys choose to put a lot of their strength and time. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things that has definitely happened with our seasons is mid lane is one of the more complex roles in this game. You have to be able to play a one-on-one against another hero and try and work on positive trades. Trades are what we call when you deal damage to them and they usually are dealing damage back to you. Who ends up coming on top of that exchange or that trade? And that's always going to be something that each of the roles are going to be worried about. But in addition to that, mid is like one of the crucial points in this map. It is the fastest route to get from your base to the enemy base. And if somebody comes in to try and surprise you or gank you, as we often call it, it's one of those that's very volatile to that, because somebody can come from almost any direction and just surprise you and try to hit you with additional firepower.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part about being a jungler. I'm more of a jungler main. Is you're kind of the pendulum that sets a lot of this stuff in motion. So you're kind of going here and there wherever you please, and kind of setting plays in motion. And it's a lot of fun to kind of see these teams react to or start a play, kind of set the pace or react to a play. And it's really cool to see kind of the way their personalities come out like that.
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to stream to you, Ronnie, so you can join me.
Perfect.
And then Ronnie's going to watch us, and then I'm going to jump back over to the game. I should probably turn the sound back up. Sound. Uh-oh. The game is loading, so I'm going to have to turn the sound back up after the fact.
No worries.
This is me learning. So the game's loading up. It's showing the champions that are going on here. There's all these little extra things on the bottom. Like you'll see that there are these little icons. They are basically what we call runes. Let's talk a little bit about the runes. We don't need to go too much into detail, but like for example, we're looking at Darius and see how he's got a couple of different runes on the bottom right. What are those?
Yeah, so Darius, most top laners, they like to go, like he's using Conqueror, as you see there. Conqueror is in a stone where basically it allows you to kind of deal more damage the more you're able to hit someone in a short window of time. So he wants to continue to trade with you over a long window, basically hitting you with auto attacks over and over and over and over again. And having Conqueror means that's essentially going to bolster that. So when he hits you with that 8th or 9th or 10th auto attack, it's going to hurt. It's going to hit like a truck, and it's going to surprise you. And that's exactly how Darius is able to get a lot of his early game kills.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Yeah, the runes are basically just adaptable abilities that people can select depending on which champion they're playing. Okay, so here we go. Everybody's kind of facing off on the river here. You'll notice for those of you... Yeah, we often call this a 5-point. This is where everybody lines up at what the best points of I guess, entry into your side there are. You'll see that we got blue on the bottom left and red on the top right. And these bases are going to spawn minions, and these minions are just waves of little creeps that just have an AI that they just attack the nearest thing, and they just it's a tug of war, and these heroes are going to try and help push this tug of war. So here we go. So they're watching their jungle. They're paying attention to whether or not anybody's going to try and invade their own jungle and try and take some of the objectives. Right here, this is what we call a leash. The jungler, let's talk a little bit about the role of the jungler here. Ronnie, that's the role you're playing in our team, right?
Yeah, that's I've played a little bit of everything throughout my tenure, but jungle is something I've always felt kind of comfortable with. It's a unique position because you're not dealing with someone like you see these lanes, top lane. You've got kind of players facing off against each other. Like you mentioned, there's minions kind of pushing the wave one way or the other and allowing you to kind of crash into the tower and all that. Jungle is so interesting because it's something where you're kind of playing this shadow boxing type match with your enemy jungler. You're not allowed to kind of see where they are most of the time. You're just kind of guessing. So a lot of it is, inferring, oh, well, I know this character clears his jungle route this fast, and so he might be here at this time. And a lot of it's a guessing game, but if you're really good at it, you can make some pretty incredible plays. And like I mentioned, jungle is a unique position because you set a lot of the action in motion. You're the pendulum for a lot of the action throughout the game.
Hey guys.
And, yes, sir.
Can you guys try scrolling over the mid lane because it's really, really choppy for the viewers?
Sure.
So we're just going to try to set it over the mid lane and see if it catches up with the frame rates.
Sure thing. Okay. So here we are in the mid lane. As we were talking about, it's very much a back and forth. The map has these areas in the, you'll notice in the mini-map on the bottom right, there are dim areas. It's vision that you don't have of all the things going on. Notice that the enemies don't have vision of each other unless they have a presence there. Oh, there goes a kill. First blood for red team.
Yeah, it looked like Cannon Teach got caught out there by Xin Zhao as he was roaming. Maybe he was going for that early scuttle crab, and he must have just got caught out of position there. Mm-hmm. And Zed, it looks like it's going to be Zed mid lane instead of Orianna. Zed happened to roam over a little faster, and the 2 against 1, it's going to be a win every time.
Yep. Yeah, when there's 2 against 1, usually it's a very bad number. There are unique heroes that can take care of that, but in this particular case, yeah, he got caught out. The jungling role, as you were talking about, you're wandering around and you're finding what we call camps, or locations of minions that are just neutral critters, and like this little scuttle. Here we go. Here's one of the junglers.
Looks like they got him on the reverse now.
Yep. We got 1 and 1. See at the top there, 1 kill and 1
that's
kill.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the same thing happened, except
the exact same play.
Opposite side of the map, right? The junglers are working towards killing these little creeps on the in the map. And as they do so, it gains some abilities and things, some buffs. For example, killing the what we call what's it called again in the river? The cuttle.
Oh yeah, the scuttle crab.
Scuttle crab. You kill the scuttle crab, and then it gives you vision of that location there. Later on in the game, there will be some significant, we call them objectives. They're dragons that will spawn in, and if a team destroys a dragon, depending on the type of dragon, they'll gain some abilities throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, speaking of dragons, the first one spawns here in about 2 seconds. So
2 seconds.
looks like first one's going to be an ocean drake on the
Ocean
map
drake.
here.
You can see the icon on the left side, the top left of the dragon. So what does an ocean drake give to the team that slays it?
Yeah, you mentioned there's elemental drakes. There's 4 elements. Ocean drake is basically a regeneration buff. So when you get ocean drakes and you stack those, they allow you to kind of heal when you're out of combat a little bit more quickly. They allow you to kind of stay healthy in extended fights. So they're really powerful if you use them in a strategic way. But they're definitely not like some people would prefer other buffs that are like damage buffs or things like that. They're not their traditional favorite.
Ooh,
looks like
that was a huge,
Yeah.
huge trade in favor of Galio right there.
Yeah, that Galio definitely, he knows the limitations of his champion. You can tell he kind of he's not afraid of Zed at all right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So what'll happen is with his low health, he is in danger of dying. So he's going to teleport back to the base. That's this location where everybody starts in, the opposing sides, top left or top right and bottom left. And then they will heal back up, buy some items, and then go back into battle.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have to walk all the way back. No teleport or anything like that. So he's taking the long way. And he's going to get back to lane a little bit slower than Galio. You see here, it looks like Galio is going to go help out just in case he's needed. Looks like he won't be. But yeah, Galio able to kind of roam over in that area just in case. He's kind of making his presence felt in all parts of the map right now. You see his wave clears so quick. So once again, that wave is going to crash into Zed's tower, and he's going to be stuck at his tower again.
That's right. A lot of the tempo of the game tends to revolve around getting some pushes in this tug of war that they're doing, right? So like these minions here generally will meet in the center and just fight each other, and usually they'll push one way or the other slowly. But if a hero is there, that hero is going to help push a lot faster. All right, looks like these guys here are setting up. They're trying to set up to get ready to try and take on this dragon. So you see that blue team is committing 4 members of their team. Uh-oh. Looks like red is aware of their presence. Yep.
There's a lot of action going on down here.
Oh my goodness. Bottom lane
Everybody's
is getting
flashing
damage. Here. Oh, we got a kill for blue.
There.
1 down for red.
They don't see Zed. Oh, now they do. They know Zed's in the
Zed's
area.
He's trying to follow up behind him, but they turn around and they chase him off. Looks like blue's probably going to be able to take this, unless red can come back to this quickly, but I don't know if they're going to be able to.
Yeah. Looks like they're just going to try to clear this out. Wow, looks like they do get Zed there in the extended fight. He stays a little too long, gets a little too close. And yeah, blue team's going to get this one for free at this point. No one in the area.
Nope.
That's the first straight going over to blue team. Nice job there to coordinate that.
Yes, it was. And often this is how the objectives are taken. They'll usually put up vision in a certain area just to see what's going on. That's these wards that they place down. And it's just kind of a battle of what's going on here. Oh, I saw a ping. So the jungler, Xin Zhao, he's working on one of the critters there. That's going to give him a blue buff, is what we call that. It's an ability that lets his mana replenish a little faster and his cooldown reductions a little better.
Yeah, it looks like these guys are getting... they're able to kind of just walk all over the lane right now. They're not afraid of anybody.
Yep, the next wave, or I should say the bottom lane team is making their way down, but they did take some damage on that turret there.
Yeah, few turret plates are really valuable. Early going for the game until about the 14-minute mark. You've got plates on those towers, and that's one of the main things that your junglers are trying to do whenever they come into a lane, right? They're trying to get a kill. But they're also trying to kind of exert some pressure and push that minion wave into the enemy tower. And that's going to allow them to get some of those plates, and those plates are worth gold. So if they're able to get a couple of those, really quickly and then back out before that 14-minute mark, it's going to help tremendously because they're going to have extra gold in their pocket, and they're going to be able to spend that gold on items to make themselves more powerful, and it's a domino effect at that point.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, one of the things that this game tries to base itself around is that rhythm or that tempo that we were talking about. In a tug of war, there are many different things that you're trying to shoot for, and this game has added a few extra things. So you've got the dragons, you've got the towers, and usually you'll get some kind of a bonus for taking out the first thing. So like the first hero to die will grant a first blood bonus to whoever killed the first hero. And then the first tower to go down will also grant a bonus.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you're the one sending that that tempo, using your momentum, as you mentioned, because you are rewarded in this game for doing that type of thing, for making those calls and basically executing them effectively. So League's one of those games where it does kind of punish you for making mistakes, and you don't want to make a lot of them, but it also rewards you for making those really good calls. So yeah, so far, Blue Team, you can see being rewarded. They've got about a 1,000 gold lead, pretty healthy here in about 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And even though the score line is only 3-1, really a 1,000 gold lead is pretty huge at this point in the game.
Yep.
Let's see what they try to do with it here.
Yep, looks like we had an invade going on here. You'll see that the red jungler actually peeked in to the blue jungle just to see if he could take one of his buffs. Oh, but looks like blue jungle is noticing his presence. He's going to...
Hey guys, I'm going to have you do real fast because you guys are getting about like 2-3 frames per second. I'm just going to have you do is I'm going to have you quit the spectating game and try to re-spectate again through the League client, but just close out your client and then re-log in so that hopefully we can get the game a little bit better.
Okay.
Okay, and then no stream through Discord, just through the client?
No, you're going to stream like normal, just like you're doing right now. I think it's just that we tested it beforehand and everything was good to go, but for some reason right now it's not because, I don't know.
It's probably maybe my computer or network isn't handling streaming on Discord and the Twitch.
It shouldn't be that because we fixed it last. We did Discord and League last time.
Okay.
So it should be totally fine.
Okay. Well, I'll quit out of the client then. Sorry about that. Well, that sometimes happens, right? Sometimes we get technical difficulties. Let's see if we can fix it up. Okay, so as we're getting back in, Ronnie, anything you want to talk about? What were we seeing there? It looked like Team Red and Team Blue. Those are, by the way, I forgot to introduce them. They are Ready, Set, Sit Down is Team Blue, and Goon Squad is Team Red. How would you say the tempo has been with this game?
You know, Blue Team's been sending a lot of the momentum. They were the first on the Drake. They got the second Drake, actually, while we were at break there. But Red Team's made a huge surge here in the last couple of minutes. Right now, it looks like they're making a coordinated dive in the top lane, resulting in a kill there. And the Rift Herald also went over to them just a moment ago, too. And they're making this huge push with that Rift Herald. So it's kind of swinging as we speak right now.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you can see the icons at the top on the left side under blue. You see the two icons that look like the icons from the dragons. Blue has taken the first two drakes, the first two dragons. So they've got a few buffs right now.
Oh my gosh, another huge play by Red Team. They just took another 0 in the bot lane and then another solo kill in the mid lane there by Zed. They basically just got an extended ace there after that Rift Herald push that resulted in 2 towers. So that was a huge swing. We were talking about them being down by 1k gold. They're now up by 4k almost. So
yes.
5 gold swing of massive.
That's right. I'm still watching the push from Team Red. 3 of them pushing on the second tower on the top lane, and they just took it out.
Don't forget the scoreboard.
Yes, the scoreboard. So we can see at the top, Team Blue has 4 kills and Team Red has 9. So Red is picking up the tempo here. They are, as you said, Ronnie, they are about 4,000 gold ahead of the other team. What does that mean by way of how the game plays out?
Well, really, it's hard to say what gold means at a glance, right? Because gold in your pocket means nothing, but gold that you spent means that you've got an item advantage over your lane opponent potentially. Essentially, when you go back to your base, right? You mentioned you can go back and you can heal. You can get a lot of your your health and your mana back, so you can kind of come back to lane healthy. but when you're at base, it's also your only opportunity to purchase items. So all that gold that you've been kind of saving up and you've been building up over the last couple of minutes, now you spend it all. You kind of use it all at once, and you get a huge power spike if you're really strategic about it and you're good at timing those things. But basically, gold in your pocket isn't worth anything at all. Gold that you've spent, like a lot of these guys have done at this point, is massive.
Absolutely, Ronnie. In fact, we can see on the scoreboard that I have finally put back up. Every time I have to restart it, I have to put that scoreboard back up. You can see the complement of items that each character each of the champions has purchased. These items grant various things like attack damage, movement speed, reduction in damage, armor, ability power, all sorts of different abilities. And each of those items can build into something bigger. The bigger the item, usually the more powerful the abilities on those items. So yeah, that gold advantage that we have in the on red means that they probably have a higher complement of equipment that they have purchased, which will give them just a little more edge over the opposing team.
Wow, yeah, and it looks like they're using a lot of that extra gold, a lot of those extra stats to kind of exert their dominance here in this very small window of time. We've got a big fight coming up here.
Yep, Team Blue has just rallied to the center, and they've taken out one of our red fellows, but nope, and they've lost 2 blue. That's not a good trade. Oh, here we go. The next red is dropped. Galio takes it down as well. So 3 from red, 2 from red. Sorry, nope. Okay, now we're even out. Sorry.
What a fight, right?
That is an extended fight. Everybody is joining into this fight to try and contribute. When it's all said and done, all of the blue team died, and all but 2 of the red died off as well.
Pretty crazy, huh? Yeah, that last those last couple of auto attacks there that Zinxiao got just out of tower range really were pretty impactful.
Oh yes, that was quite an engage. Now, what they're going to try and do is they're going to use this momentum on their side here. So what they're doing is they're going after the Drake while the blue team is still reviving. You'll see that the blue team is rushing from their base to try and get here. They know what's probably happening down here, but are they going to be here in time? Not likely.
Yeah, and the reason that they're rushing so quickly, right? Drakes, I mentioned, you can stack them. What I mean by that is, as you see, there's another dragon that shows up every few minutes. It's after you kill one, it's a 5-minute timer before the next one shows up. And when a team collects 1 Drake, it's okay, right? You get a little boost. It's a couple of percentages of points. But when you get 2 Drakes, 3 Drakes, those percentages start to stack up. Well, the team that gets 4 Drakes, you unlock something called the Dragon Soul. And the Dragon Soul is a massive buff. In fact, most teams, almost 80% of teams in competitive matches that get the Dragon Soul end up winning the game. So it's a massive buff, it's a massive boost, and it's something that 4th dragon, for whichever team is going for that 4th dragon for them, basically they'll throw their entire team at it because it's worth risking your entire team for that buff.
Right, and one item of clarification, this is not the 4th dragon for the team, this is the 4th dragon on the map, which means 3 dragons have been slain, right? 2 have gone to blue, 1 has gone to red, which means that the next dragon, whoever takes it, is going to get this Dragon Soul.
Oh no, it is actually, no, it's the 4th one for the team.
Okay.
So some games actually, no, you're right on, but no, that basically what they've done is they can kind of continue to extend this because now you've got 2 dragons for one team, 1 for the other. So that means the earliest that blue team could possibly get that 4th dragon is like 10 minutes from now. So it's a really long time. And what they've done by getting that 1 dragon is they've really extended the duration in which that Dragon Soul timer is now for blue team. So now they've basically swung the pendulum over in that way too.
All right, looks like blue team is trying to clear out some of the vision that's been placed in their jungle here. Vision can really give you a huge edge in this game.
Oh yeah, they're using a combination of control wards and sweepers. So you see those little that kind of red cone that's over some of the characters as they walk around. That cone is basically sweeping out wards, enemy wards, and denying vision. So it allows you to see these invisible wards and destroy them for a small window of time. You can also use those control wards to basically hold vision in an area for as long as you like until someone else destroys that ward. So there's a couple different ways you can use vision to your advantage and control the parts of the map.
That's right.
Looks like we've got a fight here. Wow, a pick, I should say. That happened really quick.
Yeah, that was very fast. Yeah, the red team collapsed on one of the members of blue that was just a little too late, and they lost Darius.
Yeah, he got deleted, as I like to say. That didn't take much. He was there, and then he wasn't.
Oh, red has been putting the pressure on blue. They have taken 2 turrets on the top lane. They have taken 1 turret on the bottom, and they are about to take the first turret in middle lane. How important would you say that the turrets in the middle lane are by comparison?
So mid lane is the shortest lane out of all 3, right? If you look at the mini map, you can see mid lane is a direct path from each nexus to the other. So top lane and bot lane, right? You've got to go a lot farther. It takes longer to walk to those areas. So by nature, mid lane, when you crack open those turrets, you kind of open up the map in a lot of ways, and allows you to make a lot of really fast movements to objectives. You notice the dragon located on the bottom part of the map there is very close to mid lane, just like the Rift Herald or the Baron buff is. So mid lane is never out of the action, and that's why it's such a hot spot.
It certainly is. Yeah, you have a lot more control of the map if you have control of the mid. All right, so it looks like everybody's cleaning up a little bit. I think they're getting ready for another objective, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it looks like we've got just over 1 minute until the next Drake, and that's going to be an Infernal Drake as well. It's an Infernal Soul, meaning all of the Drakes from here on out will be Infernal Drakes. So that Infernal Drake buff is going to be a damage buff, and a lot of teams prefer that because it's going to allow you to do more damage, and that feels really good because you can delete people, you can blow people up. But really, basically, it kind of depends on your composition. With Zed, with Orianna, that's kind of what they want to do. So Infernal Drake is kind of best case scenario for red team here.
Yeah, and it's determined randomly on the map, so it randomly selects the first few dragons, but then it just keeps spawning the same type thereafter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the first 2 are random. The third one will not be one of the first 2 that had already spawned, so it'll be one of the other 2 elements randomly picked, and then it will always be that one going.
There was an engage right there. Right there in the middle. Yep. They were able to take out Darius real quick. Oh, there goes Senna. And then Galio. Oh my goodness. Red team has just got such an amount of damage that they can deal here.
Man, just one after another. They keep dropping.
There goes Caitlyn.
They can't even retreat. They're basically just in full retreat mode, and they're still picking them up.
That's right. Oh, they got an ace. That's where you kill all members of the team, and they're all absent from the map at the same time. And then here comes the Drake, and there they go. No contest on that Drake.
Oh yeah, that one was for free at that point. With nobody on the map from the enemy team, there's essentially no way for them to oppose that, and that's going to be 2 Drakes apiece for either team. At this point, we're about 10 minutes from that Dragon Soul, as I mentioned, but it doesn't even look like blue team's going to be able to hold on for that long if the game keeps up at this pace. They just simply seem to be kind of outmatched at every turn here.
Yeah, they have definitely taken a lot of heavy losses here. You see that across the map, look at all of the wards for red. They are owning the map when it comes to vision. Blue's got a few here and there on the top area. But, yeah, red is definitely taking some major advantages with all these Drakes. See how they're just owning that bottom portion of the map there.
Yeah, and blue team started off so hot. They got both of those first dragons, and that's kind of the way things go in League of Legends sometimes. You'll start off with a team that can really focus for the first 5-10 minutes. Everything seems to be just clicking, and then all of a sudden the enemy team just does something to kind of rattle you, and it's never the same. And it seems like that's kind of what's happened here so far.
Yes.
Red team has just kind of had blue team's number from about the 12-13 minute mark. It's totally flipped.
Yep. The Goon squad, they've got a very powerful team composition here. They single out one member of the opposition and just remove them from the map as swiftly as possible. See that the jungler over here.
Again,
Yep. Trundle just got hit by. Is that?
That's Zed.
That's Zed. Yes.
He's the guy with knives on every hand.
Yep.
You can see he does a lot of damage.
Oh, all these characters look so dangerous. Yep. Okay.
Yeah,
Red
yeah.
is.
Not to mention the guy with shotguns in every knee and whatever.
Yep. Okay. Looks like Red is committing to the Baron, even with well, Blue is missing one member, so it's going to be very hard for Blue to try and take this from them. They're aware
So
that it's happening,
Blue's
though.
missing the most important member. To your point, they're missing their jungler.
Their jungler, that's right. And as you said, the jungler, he's a real major wild card in this, especially one of the abilities that he usually takes, which is Smite.
Yeah, exactly. The reason junglers are kind of considered the most important when it comes to these neutral monsters, these objectives like Baron or Dragon, is because Smite is a huge ability in their favor. Smite is something that does damage to an enemy monster. It's not something you really use against enemy champions very often. You know, it has like a minor slow that you can use, but really its true power is in securing objectives. So when you use Smite, it's an instant damage, and basically it just does damage to the enemy Baron or enemy Dragon that you're already fighting, and it does a large amount of damage in a very small amount of time in an instant. So it's allowing you to basically do damage to the enemy camp before they can do anything about it. And oh my goodness, we've got a huge fight here.
Ooh, we had one of the red team was running away, but was finally chased down by the blue before the blue went down.
That's a 3 for 2 in total
yes,
there.
That's
that
actually a
fight.
That is a good trade for blue. They need this.
Blue team, yeah.
Yep, they traded 2 of their own members for 3 of the opposing red team. So that could be a sway for them, but they need to keep this this moving. They need to capitalize on this. They have a few precious seconds to try and take some control over this map here. What do you think would be a good move for these guys?
Well, it's unfortunate timing because there's no objectives on the map. Like the Dragon and Baron are both down. So really they're doing the best thing they can, which is to get any towers that are obvious and kind of just out there. They just picked up that mid lane tower for free. There's really no danger there in making that call. And that's great. That's a little bit of extra gold in their pocket. And now they can kind of reset, clear off some vision like they have been. And as you see, there's 3 members, just about 4 members in that Dragon area. They're trying to set up for that Drake, which spawns in 50 seconds here.
Yep, the significant Drake, right? This is going to be, well, it's not going to be the soul, but this will put them that much closer to that soul, right?
Yeah, what they call this is whichever team secures this Dragon gets what's called soul point. They're basically one Dragon away from obtaining Dragon Soul. So they're essentially threatening Dragon Soul at any point for the rest of the game. And with those dragons spawning every 5 minutes, it's only a matter of time before one of the teams is going for it or fighting over it. That's a big reason that the teams move up and fight.
That's right. They're posturing
here. A lot of trading. Yeah, here we go.
Yep, they're poking at each other from a distance, but nobody wants to commit yet because they know the amount of damage that can ensue if they get caught out.
Yeah, whoever loses this essentially is kind of throwing a really big lead or allowing the other team to kind of secure the game here. So this is one of those moments where you don't want to be the guy that dies for.
Oh, here we go. Here's the commit.
Looks like Xin Zhao's in.
They're jumping in there. They're taking
Galio
damage.
with a one-man knock up there with his ult.
Yep.
He goes in. He gets a couple. He dies immediately, though.
Yes.
That's going to be another one from Blue Team.
Oh.
That's a 3 for 0 so far. They're being chased at every avenue here.
I don't know. Nope, Nami doesn't make it out either. Yeah, that's
a 4 for
that
0.
right there is a bad trade. Unfortunate there.
And Zed gets out after the whole chase there.
Yeah.
Trundle was chasing Zed. He didn't get him.
So Trundle wasn't able to chase down Zed. That's unfortunate.
He was so low. That's unfortunate. Yeah. But that's a 4 for 0. And the Dragon, as I mentioned, that's soul point. So as you see there, Red Team has 3 of those little fires underneath their red side on the top of the scoreboard there. It's 3 Infernal Drakes. So one more, they get that huge buff.
And they're making good use of these advantages too. Look at that difference in gold. They have, what is this, 12,000 gold above their opponents.
Yeah, massive.
That is a huge amount of gold. That is a full complement of some very powerful items, and they are making use of them.
Just to give you an idea, some of the most expensive items in the game are like Trinity Force, right? And that item, its entire value is just under like 4,000 gold. So having an advantage of 12,000 gold means one of your members probably has a huge item like that completed. Another guy has his third or fourth item, and so these guys are hitting power spikes that blue team won't be hitting for 10 minutes. And it means right now they're just very, very strong.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about some of the other roles. Since we're talking about some of the members having huge power spikes, let's talk about the ADC, or the all damage carry. What kind of a role is this one?
So ADC is a role that's kind of in flux right now. A lot of people are upset in the League of Legends kind of community as a whole because ADC feels really underpowered at the moment. And it's interesting because ADC, right, as you alluded, it stands for like carry, right? Damage carry, right? You're the guy who does the most damage on your team to the enemy through your auto attacks. You're kind of just pot shotting, boom, boom, boom. You're hitting them from afar, not getting in any kind of danger, but still taking them out one by one. ADC right now doesn't feel very good because it's not very powerful. A lot of the items for it just don't feel very impactful to the game.
Oh my goodness.
So, wow.
There was an accidental, well, he didn't know that there were 3 team members all here, but looks like he was able to take one of them out.
Yeah,
they're all waiting for him to respawn, and they take him, so there's a one-for-one trade there. But
yeah, it looks like Trundle does go down top. Yeah, he went down after the Darius did, so that's in fact a 3-for-1 in the extended fight there.
Oh, I wasn't watching the other fight. Was that on the top lane?
Yeah, they were pushed up a little ways, and they got collapsed on there. They were trying to 2v1 Urgot, and then the whole enemy team.
Oh, yes.
And as you see, I don't even know if we're going to make it to that Dragon Soul. Red team is pushing for the Nexus turrets at this point. They've got all of the inhibitors.
That's right.
And they're pushing for the final turret. Blue team has this one tower left. Let's see if they can make a last stand.
Ooh, they got Urgot. There we go. Okay, there's five members of blue are all together here, and they only have 2
so many
red.
minions. They can't protect the tower.
No, they can't. Those minions are so powerful. The more you push, the more you destroy in your enemy base, the minions on your side become more powerful. We call them super minions.
My goodness, yeah, they just had trouble clearing those minions out. They lost that final tower. Blue team has no defense turrets at this time. Red team could essentially just kind of walk up and hit their Nexus and end the game if they're sneaky about it. This is definitely going to be a tall task to get blue team back in.
Looks like Red wants to seal the deal by taking the Baron. The Baron's buff, tell everybody what this thing does.
So the main objective that the Baron buff is going to give you is it allows you to push lanes easier. And the way that it does that is because you'll see once they finish it off here, they obtain the Baron, and they have these little purple hexes around them, right, at each character. It allows them to recall really quickly so they can get back to base and buy stuff really fast. But it also gives the minions that they're nearby a huge boost of health and damage. So the minions are going to be way stronger for red team than they are for blue team, and that's going to allow those minions to push all the way into the base with ease. And as you see, there's already minions in blue team's base, so that's already an issue for them.
Mm-hmm. It is. Looks like red team has just taken the Baron, so they're going to have that extra pushing power. They're not. Nobody's really staying in a lane to help bolster their minions. It does look
Looks
like
like they're
Orianna.
setting up for that last Drake.
That's right. Yep, they're all setting up for the last Drake. This is probably going to be the final nail in the coffin. Orianna is pushing through mid, so she's going to make a difference here, just to hold them off, probably to keep them from being able to contest this. Oh, here we go.
She's doing that thing. I told you, that control mage thing that she likes to do. She's keeping Galio at bay. You see, she's not in danger at all, but she's able to just keep him away.
And the Drake goes down. That's it. There's the soul for red team, for the team, the Goon squad, and they are bringing the squad into the blue base.
You see, they could just walk up at this point. They've got so much power.
Yes. This is definitely a hard game. It's not unbeatable, but at this point, it's just going to be a very, very uphill fight. Looks like blue takes out one of them. Took out, that was Zed that was taken out there.
So fast, yeah.
Yep, it's very fast. Oh, look at this. They're going through the team just like butter.
There it goes. And, just like butter, no kidding.
Oh, and there it is, the final Nexus, the winning blow for this team. Good job, Goon Squad. That was well played.
Wow, man, way to just kind of swing that momentum. It was all blue team for the first 10 minutes or so, and then, man, something happened there. It was that Rift Herald push in that top lane. Red team collapsed on Darius, and they pushed for 2 towers there. They got another kill right at the end of it, and it just was never the.
Yep, that's right. Let's take a look at these graphs here. One of the most common graphs that people will like to look at when it's all said and done is the damage dealt to fellow champions. So you'll see on these graphs here, we've got Darius bringing up a good almost 10,000 damage total, and then some of his teammates put in a whole bunch. Galio to put in a good amount. Caitlyn, the ADC, that's kind of her job. She's trying to put out as much damage as she can. And then just look at that graph from the Goon squad. They just had solid amounts of damage, except for, of course, their support. But, the support does not usually try to go for damage. The support is trying to mitigate the damage and trying to help in various ways to make the others shine.
Yeah, right. She's all about disruption and kind of messing you up and allowing her friends to kind of mess you up. So, yeah, she did her job, but unfortunately, the rest of the team there did not follow up. Senna, as you see, so low on damage, but Trundle even just a bit lower. Darius, really, he's the type of character you usually see him at the very top of the damage chart. He just got punished and abused throughout that match. They continued to just 3-man dive him, 2-man over and over again, and they just kind of made him he didn't really have an answer for anything they were doing there, and you see it in the graphs for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Urgot, I've played a couple of matches against him. He's a very interesting character to play against in top, and it looks like Urgot just pushed him out of the scenario there. So that'll
punishing.
be it for the first game there for the coaches. Way to go, the Goon squad, beating out on Ready, Set, Sit Down. Well done. And
1-0.
1-0. There it is. So that'll be it for this first game. We're going to give a few minutes for the players to assemble for the next one, but stay tuned, everybody. Ronnie, thank you so much for joining us.
Man, this has been so much fun. I hope I get to do this again. This is going to be me signing off. Jason's going to be he's going to be with another member from the coach rival squad, and for the second game here. And it's been a blast just kind of casting with you here. This has been so much fun, and I hope we get another chance to do.
Absolutely, and of course, you all make sure to tune in. While Ronnie and I did not play tonight, we will be playing next week, so we'll be enjoying from the other side, I suppose.
Yeah, please feel free to sub and flame us as we, dive and fail and whatever happens. We get to commentate this week, and next week we have to put it all on the line. So we'll.
Yep, exactly. All right, so the next game is going to be Team. Let's see if I can pronounce this correctly. Team Obfuscation.
These team names, I swear.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's been having a lot of fun with it. And I know that they named this name just to make it hard for commentators. So it's Team Eschewing Obfuscation. That's right.
I would call them Team EO if I were you.
Probably. This is going to be a hard one to continue. Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you all very, very much, and let's get ready for the next one.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye-bye.